The face of the Earth, its image in the cosmos as seen from outside, from the depths of infinite celestial space, seems to us absolutely unique, inimitable, and distinct from all other heavenly bodies. The face of the Earth exhibits the surface of our planet, its biosphere, its outer domain separating it from its cosmic surroundings. Once upon a time, about 4.5 billion years ago, our Sun was a young, very lonely, fast-spinning sun which spun off some material, a plasma, from itself. This plasma formed a plane around the Sun, organized in a coherent way through a polarized fusion process, creating the elements of the Mendeleev table and creating the orbital pathways of the planets of the Sun's solar system. On the planet we currently call home, the Earth, life slowly started to emerge. The earliest life forms were single-celled organisms with a simple internal structure. In these days, the Earth's atmosphere consisted mostly of the mixture of gases similar to what we know from volcanic activity, somewhat unfriendly conditions by today's standards. Such factors as the solar system's path through the galaxy and the Earth's changing orbit in the solar system gave rise to great changes in climate, such as a tremendous global warming and global cooling. 800 million years ago, the planet was frigid, and glaciers reached as far as the equator. During the following hundreds of million years, there were great changes in temperature, geography, and ocean currents. Continents broke apart and reformed. Higher forms of life developed, simple animals which developed nervous systems and brains. Plant life developed and spread onto land, as did animals. The land-based plants expanded and the activity of chlorophyll, creating an ever greater circulation of oxygen and water. This process, called photosynthesis, created an oxygen-rich atmosphere, which in turn created the protective ozone layer, allowing for the further evolution of life on Earth. Thus, life did not develop out of a chaotic heap of random local events. Rather, life shows everywhere an intention, a guided capability to sort unorganized chemical elements into concentrated forms and to thereby bring about an increase in density of energy. Although the totality of living matter exists in a minute layer of the troposphere over the entire surface of the planet, and although it comprises but a tiny part of the Earth's mass, life is a powerful geological force. The development of the biosphere towards ever more complex organisms finally created the conditions of an even higher form of life, a unique species that is able to discover the active principles of the universe willfully and consciously, a species that is itself able to harness and employ the anti-entropic powers of these processes, cognitive mankind. The pioneer in this field of scientific investigation was the Russian-Ukrainian Vladimir Vernadsky, who discerned 3 separate but interactive domains of different energetic material quality: the non-living, called the lithosphere, the living, the biosphere, and that of creative mankind, called the noosphere. The historical process is being radically changed under our very eyes. For the first time in the history of mankind, the interests of the masses on the one hand, and the free thought of individuals on the other, determine the course of life of mankind, and provide standards for mere ideas of justice. Mankind taken as a whole is becoming a mighty geological force. There arises the problem of the reconstruction of the biosphere in the interests of freely thinking humanity as a single totality. This new state of the biosphere, which we approach without our noticing, is the noosphere. Chemically, the face of our planet, the biosphere, is being sharply changed by man, consciously, and even more so, unconsciously. The aerial envelope of the land as well as its natural waters are changed both physically and chemically by man.
As opposed to Cartesian method.
American economist and statesman Lyndon LaRouche, who has an unmatched record of successful long-term economic forecasts, has further developed the science of physical economy.
The issue, of course, the practical issue from an economic standpoint is that there is no such thing as a fixed environmental standard. That is, mankind cannot stand still at any level of development, because in just continuing to function, we use up certain concentrations of raw materials which we require for our existence. And population grows too. What is needed is to improve the environment. I refer to this as platforms. For example, a great development of civilization started with the ocean travel, where people were navigating by the stars in transoceanic regions. Then we get to the point where we developed the riparian system, as was done by Charlemagne in Europe, which the great system of canals and rivers being connected together. Another platform, a higher platform than just the oceanic, the maritime culture. Then we went from river systems into railway systems. We extended these into the idea of continental railway systems. We're now talking about intercontinental railway systems, such as that of the Bering Straits Tunnel, which is now on the agenda again. And these kinds of programs, which lead to man's improvement of the role of life on the planet and beyond into work in space, these are the great projects and demand a fresh view of what progress really means, what we have to do to satisfy and secure mankind's well-being in the time to come. And these are the kinds of things that are on my mind and which I like to discuss, because these are great projects which, at my age, fascinate me.